Are you a white person just looking for the wokies to tell you about your identity and the many nuances of it? Do you need somebody else to let you know when you should have an opinion, or better yet, share that opinion? Well, then you clicked on the right report, because I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News, and today we're going inside of the Vancouver Art Gallery to show you the Conceptions of White exhibit that's been up to let white people know that they need to always be reminded that they're the oppressors and to check on their privilege. Let's take a look. The anti-white art inside is scheduled to be taken down February 4th, which is before you'll see this report, but I wanted to make sure you didn't miss it.
Grieving that we don't want to lose dominance, we don't want to lose power, we don't want to lose privileges, we don't want to lose benefits that the system of white supremacy has created here in America for white people.
You've got the Conceptions of White wall when you first walk in. Look, an exhibition that examines the myths and meanings behind the idea of white race, in quotation marks, of course, because white people aren't real. A relatively recent invention, that helped shape the modern world. Here's the list of works by artists. Let's throw to one of them, Jeremy Bailey. He's towards the top here. And take a look at some of what he has to say about his passion.
Hi, I'm famous new media artist Jeremy Bailey. So excited to be here at the South Bank Center to present new ideas to you, really.
And where I often land is by starting in my own context and in the art world and museum context, and making work about how even white supremacy is held up in the museum, or power is held up in those spaces.
Okay, so now they've got these iPads up on the wall. Oh, take a look at this. Look, oh my goodness here. So it's telling white people to stop talking. They're never to share an uninvited opinion again. And then you've got this mute button right on your mouth. This is sick. This is actually really disturbing. I can't help but wonder how many students have come here on a field trip, white students in particular, and how that would make them feel. It says stop talking and never share an uninvited opinion again.
Oh, well, I think what that means to me is that if people of other colors are talking, to listen first, and then I think it's important to give the space to other people,
And so you're okay, like, with the mute being on your mouth, and that the visual doesn't bother you at all?
Well, I guess that would bother me, yeah. Because if you're not allowed to speak, it's not a good thing. It's like right now you have a mic on me and I'm speaking. I was invited to speak, but if I am not heard, what is the point, right? And I think if you have something good to say, it's worth saying.
You go up here to check your privilege here, and it's going to tell you to learn. I'm going to learn whether or not I'm special or lucky. Let's take a look here. I'm undeserving. Did they not get the memo? I'm Black and Indigenous. I'm undeserving. Do you need to be reminded of when you can have an opinion or not?
No, I don't think that's true. I just think it's good to keep remembering our privilege.
Okay, and what's the privilege for a white person, let's say, who's maybe brought up in a poor family and maybe gets abused by their parents? Are they privileged too?
I think there's some innate white privilege. Yeah.
They want you to enjoy discomfort, be more approachable in seconds. And this one here, get curious, vocalize your ignorance. But look at what it says on my mouth here. Say, I know nothing. That's what they want you to say. You can see the levels of my voice are moving, but they want you conditioned that you know nothing if you're a white person. And just remember, this art display is up here on the taxpayers' dollars. There was funding for this exhibit to be here. And the Vancouver Art Gallery gets funding as well. And look what it says above. When you're the problem, we're the solution. You hear that? You're a problem, white people. Look at this poor white guy over here on the wall. Like, did he know what he was signing up for in this model gig? Tell me, what level of self-hate is being taught right now where this type of thing is considered art?
I agree with the checking privilege, and I try not to offer my opinion unless it's invited generally. I don't know, I feel like it's more of a conversation than like, I also don't feel very qualified to comment.
Well, it's all about white people, so I think, I don't know.
Yeah, fair. I mean,
Who else would be qualified?
yeah, I tend myself to have some pretty derogatory opinions on white people and the general behavior of the sort of like colonial descendants. I try to ask questions instead of making statements. So I wouldn't say I disagree.
Right. Over here, we've got a wall. Frequently asked questions about white people. When were white people invented? So again, with all of this talk about hate, and by the way, I reached out to Trudeau's funded Canadian Anti-Hate Network to see if they have anything to say about this exhibit that's been going on tour. Of course, I haven't heard back. But all this talk about hate, and you can have an open display of this out for people to go and spend money, by the way. It's $30 to come here and look here and show you guys what's going on, $30 on per person. Diverse, ancient colors, inclusion. You go over blonde, DNA. This is the state of art.
Why the fuck would they want them to act supreme? I ain't never heard a black person go around acting superior because of the color of their skin. If anything, they do the opposite. It's white people that are taught. I ain't saying black people can't hate. I ain't saying black people can't be angry. But hell, if they do hate, it's a hate that hate produced. It's an anger that anger produced from white supremacy, a culture, and a system of white supremacy.
I gotta tell you, I feel slightly deranged walking out of there, ladies and gentlemen. At one point, we were told, you gotta take the video out or else you're gone. So we wanted to make sure we captured more of the madness before we left and went to picture form, which is what they would allow. And there's this wall there where you can actually find out how Aryan you are. Behind the cameraman stepped up to the challenge. I was a little squeamish about putting my face in the recognition. He sat down. He got 44%. Let people know, how did you feel going in there? What was your take on seeing a wall that just by your looks is literally racial profiling you for a Nazi, pretty much?
I am not a Nazi.
Not a Nazi. There was other ladies that went in, and one lady I was talking to, she had really mixed emotions about this. She didn't know if it was good or if it was bad. I asked her if she thought it was racist, and she said, I don't think this is the way. I got in the seat. I decided I'll go in, but I'll close my eyes. So I closed my eyes, and I'm 38% Nazi, apparently. That's what I got here. So I don't even know what the standard is other than to have you walk away feeling a little bit of shame.
I think it's intentionally meant probably to make people feel uncomfortable and to think more about these issues.
I don't think, like, from my perspective, there was much that didn't sit well with me, but I'm sure like a lot of other people might take offense to some things. But again, I think like this exploration of talking about, you know, whiteness and how whiteness in like galleries or other like predominantly like historical white institutions is something that's we're gonna be seeing a lot more of. But yeah.
It ends on such a horrible, disturbing note. You go into this dark black room. It even tells you there's going to be sort of scenes of violence in there. It looks like a demon's in there. It's an old punk rock song, and it's just scrambling your brain as part of this indoctrination process. It's so concerning that, again, taxpayer dollars were used for this. People are seemingly okay. I can tell some are not. We did ask one gentleman inside, what do you think about this? His response was, I can't answer that because I'm working. So that's the anti-white art display that is allowed in the Vancouver Art Gallery without any big